Hello, my name is Abigail. On this channel, I talk about books and things that I'm passionate about. For today's video, that passion is going to come out a little differently because in this video, I'm sort of debuting my haircut, and in the midst of filming this video, I did get my haircut and I hate it. And so of the things that I'm passionate about, fighting Michelle, the one who cut my hair, is probably the top priority. However, that's not the books. So let's talk about the books. A while back, I had done a video called 7 to Read Before 2026. Now, the reason that I chose 7 was because I had a selection of 7 books that I deemed to be incredibly shameful that I hadn't gotten to, given the ways that I purchased them. I will try and leave that video linked down below in case you want to be spoiled for all 7 of them. Now, I didn't get to all 7 of them in this video. I have already read one of them, so that took my number from 7 down to 6. In this video, I read 3, bringing my number to 3 left. 7 is an arbitrary number, but I also started this channel midway through the year, so I wasn't going to give myself 25 to read in 6 months because that's crazy. But I did want to highlight some books that I had purchased and not read. So let's talk about it. The first book that you will see me read in this video is The Blood of Hercules. The reason that I wanted to read this one is because it's just fucking gorgeous. But this book is about a girl who grows up in a not so good environment. She has foster parents and they treat her like shit. One day she goes and she somehow, I don't recall exactly how, but her blood comes into play. And it is discovered that she is having the blood of Hercules. And there's some trials, Olympian trials. And yeah, it's Greek mythology, but it's like, it's kind of like, I don't want to call it Hunger Games. It's more like, well, it's like Greek mythology meets like a Hunger Games type thing. Like, because there's trials, people don't live. God, what would I call this? What would I compare this to? I guess Hunger Games. I guess that would be the one that everyone would know if I mentioned. But there's another book that I'm thinking of where people die and there's trials and tribulations. You probably know it. Let me know in the comments down below. What book am I thinking of and why can I not think of it right now? Let me know. Anyways, the second book that well, maybe it's actually in this video, the second book that I'm thinking about. The next book that I read for this video is First Time Caller. This is by B.K. Borison. The reason that I had chosen this book as one of the books that I wanted to read before the end of 2025 is basically because everyone was talking about it. I got it on Book of the Month. I've had it since February. And I had seen so many people rave about it, and I just hadn't picked it up yet for whatever reason. I kept finding something else to read instead. And so when I finally got to read it, I was, trying to see if it lived up to the hype. So you'll have to see if that went according to plan. But this is about a woman named Lucy whose daughter Maya calls into a radio show that Aiden is hosting, and Maya is asking for love advice for Lucy, and Aiden, he's the, what is he called, the heartstrings something. He hosts a radio show about heartstrings. Anyways, long story short, they kind of fall for each other because it's a romance, and of course they do. And the final book that I read for this is Phantasma. Phantasma is by Kaylee Smith. Now, this is the book that I think I might be thinking about when I reference like Hunger Games, like it's this kind of vibe. This is about a girl who, her mother is a necromancer and her mother passes away, and her sister have to figure out how they're going to survive, how they're going to get the money to keep the house. And she goes to Phantasma in search of her sister, and chaos ensues. They have trials and based on the 7 deadly sins, and that's kind of all I think that I should say, because I think any more and it would give too much away, but I think this might be what I'm referencing when I say like there's trials and tribulations, that's like Hunger Game-esque, because this isn't quite oops, wrong one. This isn't quite Hunger Games. It's more like this. Kind of like, so this is like demon mythology and this is like Greek mythology, and they both have trials. These are the 3 books that I read for this, officially cutting my to be read pile for the 7 before 2026 in half. I do have 3 more to go. Will I complete it? Stay tuned to this channel. And what did I think about the books? Keep watching. Whilst I was completing my busy work around the house, I listened to approximately 12% of The Blood of Hercules. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. And that's not necessarily like a bad thing. I guess my biggest my biggest comment about this is less about the content of the book and more about like, granted, listen, I've said it once, I've said it a million times, I'll say it every day for the rest of my existence. I do not read the synopsis of the book because in my opinion, I feel like it gives too much away. And I like to go into listen, if I got a book for free, I want to know exactly what it's about because I want to know if it's worth my time. But if I paid for a book, I don't want to know if it's worth my time. I want to go into it and I want to be surprised. Was this a good book? Was it a terrible book? These are the things that I want to know only if I got a book for free. So like, for example, if I were to go to a little free library and I were to pick up a book, I'll read the back of it because it's like, hey, do I want to take this from somebody else who could probably use it more than I could? Or, doesn't have as many books as I do, then I want to read it because I want to know, is it worth me investing my time in it? Is it worth me, like I said, potentially taking it out of somebody's hands who could, maybe read it quicker, read it sooner, etc., etc., etc. But if I pay for a book, I want to know nothing. I want to go in so surprised with every twist, with every turn. I want to know the name of the characters and maybe some tropes. I have to crank my chair up because it's on the floor. My husband was the last one to drive this car before me. He drove yesterday and I'm sitting on the floor because he's taller than me and I am not tall, so I have to crank myself up to the ceiling. Like, I like to be able to see over the hood of my car. Okay, I feel better now, much better. Thank you for sticking with me while I crank the car up. Anyways, I would like to know only the tropes, maybe the setting, the main characters' names, and the type of story it is. Is it a romance? Is it a thriller? Is it a horror? Give me bullet points as to why I should read this book. Do not give me a synopsis. So, I picked up the Blood of Hercules knowing exactly 3 things. 1, the cover is fucking stunning. 2, it is some type of Greek mythology retelling. And 3, the girl is Hercules. That's it. That's all I knew going into it. And it's like, this is dystopian, but it's like, okay, stick with me here. Greek mythology, but like the main character mentions Montana. So it's like our time, but future. It's futuristic. It's like, I think the last date we got was 2050 or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Also, there's a talking snake that's invisible. I don't know what this is. I'm not having a bad time. I'm having I don't know what I got myself into kind of time. I am roughly 40% into The Blood of Hercules, so if I really like it, We're at the school now. There's only one woman that's ever been there, and it's her, I guess. And it's interesting. The main character's inner monologue is really interesting. It's really funny. I'm a little tired. Forgive me. I've been listening on my way to work. When I'm at home, I'm able to tandem read, but when I'm in the car, obviously, I can't read. I'm very tired, but I'm having a pretty good time. I think my biggest and really only complaint about it is that when I am reading a Greek mythology story or retelling, the only thing I really hate about it is that I have to unlearn what I already know and learn this world's version of whatever story it is that they're retelling, or inspired by whatever the situation is. Like, for example, like the parental lineage is incorrect in this book as far as I have been made aware. So that's something. It's fine. It's just something that I notice that I have to do every time. So, and like even with Katie Roberts, Greek smut, Greek mythology smut, I'm having to like unlearn the truths and learn falsities. Like, for example, they're like elected as the one of the 13, and in this one, obviously, it's like the Greek gods exist, and the kids that go to the school are, they're called mutts or whatever, and for the most part their parental lineage is correct, but Achilles is not correct. So that's something that I'm having to like mentally separate, if that makes sense. I am roughly 60% of the way through Blood of Hercules, and I went to Scooters this morning, and they have a drink that's called the Apocalypse, so I had to get it because apparently there's an apocalypse in this book that I'm reading, so it was like super fitting. So I'm having a good time. I really like this book. The writing is so funny. Being inside of Alexis's mind is so like refreshing. She doesn't like, everything's not serious. Like, she is so unserious. It's like really hysterical. Like, she's literally being beaten up by the other initiates, and she's literally being like tormented, and she's like, if I die, I die. I liked the Apocalypse so much yesterday that I got another one, this time blended. So I'm actually sitting in my work parking lot right now, but I am obligated to tell you that the Blood of Hercules, I finished it, and it is actually fucking phenomenal. I am pissed that I have been sleeping on this. Not only am I pissed that I've been sleeping on this book, I'm pissed that I now have to wait until the second book releases on October 2nd to get my fix again. I have very little complaint other than like the fact that the mythology is a little skewed, but I understand authors take their own kind of like, they take their own perspectives and they change things to make the story their own. But like, I am, how do I say this? I am kind of like a mythology purist. Like, if it isn't correct, I'm gonna know, and it's gonna take me out of the story. So there was a couple times where things were like a little but I digress. Like, the parentage of these people was wrong. I'm probably still gonna give this like, oh my god, am I gonna give this a fucking 5-star? Holy shit, I really fucking like this book. I really like this book, and I kind of tandem read it, so I like listened to it on audio and also like followed along in some spots when I wasn't driving. The audiobook is phenomenal. This book is, is this like a 10-star for me? Is like, if I, the only thing that I would subtract points for is that the parentage of these people is not correct. So I guess if I were to rate it out of 10, I would give it a 9. I would deduct one point for incorrect parentage. Everything else, like, I'm laughing out loud. I'm having a great time. There was spice. There was a little spice. There was multiple perspectives, and the audiobook had different narrators for each person. Having a great fucking time, okay? Okay? 11 out of 10 time. 9 out of 10 book. I'm pissed. I gotta wait months for the next one. Is this the best possible angle? No, but we're going to go ahead and deal with it. So I finished The Blood of Hercules, like I had mentioned. I really love this. I am so, like, completely impressed with it. I have, with the exception of the parentage being incorrect, I have no complaints. This is a stunner inside and out. I'm so pleased with it. Also, can we just say, like I mentioned, I listened to it partially on audio. One of the narrators was Teddy Hamilton, and I don't know if I've mentioned it here on this channel, but Teddy Hamilton is my favorite male narrator. And while he didn't have very many lines, it was definitely mostly told through um, Alex's point of view. He had some lines, okay? And I also want to mention that when I when I started this book, I had no idea what it was about. Really, I just knew that, yeah, see, now I'm reading the synopsis, and I'm really grateful that I didn't know anything about it, because I feel like I just enjoy stories more when I am surprised by the plot, the characters, the happenings. I just enjoy that more. But yeah, if you haven't picked up The Blood of Hercules, you definitely should. Also, Bonds of Hercules. I'm so excited for that. October 2nd. Bitch, couldn't come sooner. Okay, so presently I'm sitting in the dark with what I can only describe as the worst haircut of my life. I don't want to be seen right now. I don't want to film videos. I've done almost nothing but cry. And before I cut all my hair off, well, I didn't cut it off. The freaking lady at the salon cut it all off. Before she cut it all off, I started reading First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, and I was loving it. Unfortunately, I have knocked myself into a depression, and I don't want to read. So that's where I'm at. Here are my thoughts on First Time Caller. First of all, Lucy's Mechanic. Love that. I love that so much. Also, I'm listening on audio, and I'm really, really enjoying what I'm hearing. There's like podcast noise. It's really good. I really like it. I'm disappointed that I've knocked myself into a slump. I'm having a good time other than that. So, we'll see. After this extreme depression, we'll see how many books I can read. Because right now, I don't want to read shit. I don't even want to exist right now. I'm so serious. I'll skip to the part where I tell you about the book rather than my haircut and why it's made me want to avoid the camera. I loved this. I really, really loved this. And that's really good for me personally, because B.K. Borison released a Christmas little romance, a little Christmas thing. And I'm really excited about this. Let's talk about this book real quick though. I loved Aiden. I loved Lucy. I love their dynamic. I love Maya. I love this book. I understand why people love this book now, dude. This is a great book. Now, this entire time, I've had this since February of 2025, and it's been sitting atop my shelf waiting for me to read it, and I haven't read it, and I've been thinking, well, everybody loves it. So, it's one of those things where if you're overhyped about something is like talked about all the time, it's everybody's favorite book, it's everywhere, it's all you see all the time. It's almost like, do I even want to? Like, do I do it? Do I want to? Is it going to live up to the hype? This book lives up to it. I was so impressed. I loved the audiobook. Unfortunately, I listened completely on audio. I have been really going through it with my hair. So it's not like I wanted to pick up a book physically and read it, especially with everything that I have planned for November and December. This has been a treat. This was a treat to get to listen to rather than like feel forced to with all of October. This was a treat to get to listen to. I really enjoyed this. I simply cannot wait for the second one. The second one cannot come out soon enough. I loved this. Am I going to give this a 4.5 star or 5? I feel like this is the perfect time. There's like multiple references to Christmas in this book, and like I get it. Like it came out in February. It's not taking place during Christmas. It's taking place in the winter. It's definitely cold where they're at, but it's not Christmas. But there's like multiple references to Christmas, and I can't say that I hated it. I enjoyed it so much. I really love this. I hope that the second one comes out in Book of the Month, because I would be devastated if my covers didn't match. So Book of the Month better release the second one. But I really loved this. I love the fact that she has like a typically masculine job, and I love that like their grumpy sunshine. I like that the grumpy sunshine of it all was not so much like it's an internal thing, yes, but it's not like grumpy about her. It's grumpy about circumstances that have happened in his life, and it's not something that gets treated like it's treatable, like it's curable. It's just how do you rather than overcome, how do you choose to live? You know what I mean? It was great. I loved it. I think I'm going to go with 4.5 star. I don't want to say 5, only because I've read some 5-star books this year, and this is very close, but it is not a 5-star for me. I think 4.5 feels right. I was so impressed. I can't wait for the second book. Oh my God. The final book that I plan on reading for this vlog is Phantasma, and I have it on audio, which feels like cheating because all 3 of the books that I read for this video have been on audio. But with this one, I heard that the audiobook is, I heard that with all 3 of them, the audiobook is good. And listen, I'm a sucker for a good audiobook. And if you tell me that it's a good audiobook, I'm there for it. But with this one specifically, I find that it's easier for me to pay attention to a romantasy or a romance if I'm listening on audio rather than reading it physically. My attention span for things that are not like completely realistic is very limited. So like even Fourth Wing, I had to listen on audio because I don't know, it's just like I can't, I don't know. I would much rather read a horror, a thriller, or a romance physically, and I save my audio typically, with the exception of the month of October. Typically I will do mostly romantasy on audio, or sometimes dark romance, I guess, but I hear this is dark and romantasy, so I'm excited for that. I started it already. I'm about a chapter and a half through. She's a necromancer. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. So I'm kind of excited. Yesterday I started Phantasma, and I got a pretty healthy amount of the way through. I started by going for a walk. When I got back to my house, I picked up a little bit around my house, and then I started making Italian penicillin, which is a really delicious soup. And no one else enjoyed it except for my mother-in-law, so I currently have 10 servings sitting in my freezer. The book, though, I really like it. I really like it. It's a little sexy. It's a little mysterious. It's a little paranormal. It's a little fantastical. I'm having a really good time, and I'm looking forward to listening to it. I know that, like, towards the end of October, I was really forcing myself to get through everything that I was picking up, whether it was physically or audio. I was forcing myself to get through because I had to, because I had no choice, because I had lofty goals of 31 videos in 31 days and 31 books in 31 days. And despite it nearly taking me out towards the end, I completed those goals. However, now things are feeling really low pressure. I'm able to enjoy the things I'm picking up because I'm not picking them up because they were predetermined. I mean, kind of this was predetermined because I knew that I wanted to read this before the end of 2025. So, but it's not like I have a deadline that I have to meet other than the end of the year. And I'm succeeding. We're in November right now. So I'm succeeding. My son was homesick. Well, I picked him up early from school. I left work because he was not doing so good. So I picked him up and took him home. And because of that, I didn't get to read on the way home like I normally would because I was kind of prioritizing racing to get to my kid. And because of the fact that he's not really feeling well, I'm not going in tomorrow. So I probably won't use my normal hour and a half, 2 hours of audiobook to accompany me on my commute to and from work because I won't be going. But I'm sure I have plenty of shit I need to do around my house. A day off is an opportunity to get my life together. So I'm sure I can find an hour and a half worth of shit to do. Plus, if I wake up early enough, I'd love to go for a walk. I don't know. I enjoyed my walk. What can I say? I finished Phantasma. And I don't know if I've even updated you very much. I think that I kind of read this sort of quickly, I think. I started reading it and I got 2 hours into, by the time that I sped it up to my preferred reading preference, I had about 3.5 hours left. The whole audiobook for me was 5.5 hours because I read it at such a high speed. I can't listen to 1.0. I just can't. I usually lean in the 2 to 3 times speed range. So I read this rather quickly. I read 2-ish hours on the first day, and then I read 2-ish hours on the second day, and then I was left with an hour and a half for today. So I read this so quickly, I don't even know if I've updated you once or even at all. But let me tell you what I think. I really loved this. There was a lot of like sexy times, which I was actually sort of not impressed by, but I was shocked. I knew that it was a romantasy. I knew that there was going to be the romance elements, and I knew that there was going to be the fantasy elements, obviously. But I think I was surprised with how often it happened. But maybe I'm just thinking because I read it so quickly. Does that make sense? Like maybe it wasn't that many times. Maybe I just read it so quickly that it felt like it was happening a lot. But I also listened to this on audiobook amongst 3 days. So it could have been an average amount of times that they did stuff. But I liked it. I really liked it. I liked the descriptions of, now I will say, there was a couple of the trials that I was having a very difficult time picturing. And then there was some of the trials that I was like completely enthralled by, and I could absolutely visualize it and see it in my head. And I kind of want this to be made into a limited series on Netflix or maybe HBO. If this book gets picked up for TV film adaptation, I think I would trust HBO as a top priority and or top choice, and Netflix maybe as a second choice. I think this would go over really well, especially because this book's second book came out this year. I don't know if there's going to be a third, but I enjoyed this quite a fair bit. I think that the lore that goes into it was also pretty interesting. There's like a whole like paranormal hierarchy of beings here that I found interesting on the first or second page. And I think that had I remembered that this was here, I would have referenced it. So, okay, full disclosure, I got this book so Book of the Month does this thing where at the end of the year or the beginning of the next year, you can get a free book with your membership based on the 2025, or in this case 2024. This one was a Book of the Year 2024 finalist. So I did get this for free towards the beginning of this year. And I got it and I opened it and I got to page 1 and then I got to page 2 and then I got to the prologue and then I stopped because other things took precedence. Well, I had forgotten about that until I was about a third of the way through this book and I completely forgot that this existed. But I think that this is definitely helpful. They do kind of explain it in text, but I guess I would have liked to have referenced it a little bit more. But I guess that's probably why maybe I should have been tandem reading, which I didn't with this one. I didn't tandem read at all. But I think this is like a 4.5 star. Like, it's either a really, really high 4-star or I think 4.5 is the right place to land for this one because it's not quite a 5-star and it's definitely not a 3-star. So I'm giving this one a 4-star, could be 4.5. This one got a 4-star as well, and so did this one. So I did really well. And the exciting thing about this particular video is, and I didn't think about this until I was already almost done with this video, but guess what I have? Bonds of Hercules, book 2 of the Blood of Hercules series. And I also have Enchantra, which is book 2 of the, what is it, Phantasma series. And do you know what's coming out in February of 2026? The second book to this series. So part of me wants to do this again next year. But I will say probably earlier in the year, I would not mind to sort of wait until this one comes out, or the second one to this one comes out, and then read them like straight, like kind of how I did this, or even start these in the beginning of the year, and then when this one comes out, pick it up for the same video. Could be fun. Let me know in the comments down below. What are the books that you need to get done in the year 2025? We are coming to a close really quickly here, and what are your top priorities? For me, I have 3 left. I have Nightingale by Kristen Hanna because I decided I needed it now, and I purchased it on Amazon for $7. Haven't touched the book. The other books that I need to read are The Favorites by Lynn something. It's the ice skater one. And the other book that I purchased was a CJ Clune book. It was a book that I had pre-ordered back in 2023. And I still have not read it. So that is my list of shame. What is yours? Let me know all the things in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Get ready for something fun in December that I might be working on right now. Until then, tell me if I should run up on Michelle for cutting my hair so terribly short when I asked for it to be below my shoulders. Tell me which of these 3 books you have read and tell me if you liked it. All right. I will see you probably next week.